They're not going to run the Multiverse of Madness storyline back for Dr. Doom.
Wanda said, I'm not a monster, I'm a mother. Now he says, I'm not a Doomsday, I'm a daddy.
You think the reason Franklin was cool with him, did he just have like candy hanging out of his mouth? You know what I mean?
When you go up to kids and have candy hanging out of your mouth. I don't mean to yuck a yum on every theory that comes through our gates here, because we've had even worse theories than that have come out of this stupid mouth.
No, first, Marvel full frontal?
Whoa! Victor hammering something as he's building his armor, and he's saying like, no mask, same task. The multiverse is imploding. Is Franklin Richards actually the son of Susan Storm and Dr. Doom? This is the Rumor Rundown, where the hosts of New Rockstars investigate the wildest rumors that nerds and newsmen can't make heads or tails of, applying our own backgrounds in journalism and Hollywood connections, and finally confirming whether those rumors are honest scoops or bullshit poops.
Huh?
We are Erik Voss and Zach Huddleston.
Thrilled to be here. Love a scoop, love a poop. I'm excited equally for both.
Hey, we're excited to have you here. It's like both of these podcasts have kind of just become Doomsday podcasts in a way, but we do have plans for the Rumor Rundown in the future. Yes. We talked about it last week. We will be starting on the road to Doomsday, talking about every Marvel movie or Marvel franchise television series that has ever come out, and we're going to be covering it starting in December, going through the 12 months that lead to Avengers Doomsday in December 2026, right here on this show. So you're going to see a lot of different conversations about a lot of different titles, but for now, we were talking about this Avengers Doomsday trailer that now Collider confirms that the Doomsday trailer will be connected to Avatar Fire and Ash in December. This is the first time that a major news outlet has confirmed per their sources. This is a work, this is Weintraub, Frosty, they got their connections, they got their sources, and they're saying it's probably gonna happen. So here's what we're going to do in this video. We talked about this on a couple of other videos you may have seen on the New Rockstars channel in the past 7 days, but we're going to round up a lot of the little weird descriptions that we've heard from people claiming that they definitely saw it. One of them is My Time to Shine Hello. They even said like, I saw it, and there's a lot of doom in it. That's what they said. How? Yeah. My Time... Come on, My Time. Of course you would say that. Of course you would. And we're going to grade each one of them one by one. But we have like one big rumor that we want to start off with that I don't know would be revealed in the trailer, but it's a rumor about Doomsday that we haven't talked yet about on the New Rockstars channel. And we got our own in-house scooper. You'll notice a certain thing about this scooper that's... What is this? Oh my God. Is that a white gloved hand? Nothing can stop us now. We'll tell you how. We're gonna make
really long,
happen.
stretched out arm there too.
Could
it be related to the Richards?
Or our robot House of Mouse, Mickey here, who is our inside Disney source, who gets us all of these things. Oh my. They also bring us our big bags of money.
Yeah.
All right, so here is rumor number one that we're going to talk about. Franklin Richards, in another world, is actually the son of Dr. Doom and Susan Storm, and that will be the emotional arc dynamics between Dr. Doom and Reed and Sue in a kind of love triangle. And you observe the last shot of the Fantastic Four First Steps post-credit scene where Dr. Doom has his mask off, having the kid touch his face. That, we will learn, is actually a father reconnecting with his son and the emotional catch point of Doomsday. And that comes from someone said... Their name is Serious Tourist 1127 on Reddit, claiming to be a marketing manager working at the Disney Toronto office. And they're quoting some colleague who they say worked on the Doomsday set.
Which is funny because like throughout my childhood, I had a girlfriend in Canada.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe she knew this marketing manager.
That's right. Yeah, we all of our girlfriends in Canada are friends with this alleged marketing manager. So we'll talk about the source of it in a second, but let's start with just the theory of it all.
Yes.
Could that whole that potential father-son moment, could Franklin Richards be the son of Dr. Doom? The reason why I think there's some plausibility here is that Valeria Richards' origin story is that she is actually believed at first to be the daughter of Susan Storm and Victor Von Doom from another alternate future timeline, that we find out actually what really happened was Franklin, when that girl was going to come out as a stillborn, transported that child to another reality where she entered the womb of that other alternate universe, Susan Storm, and then Victor Von Doom had married her in that universe because Reed had died, and that Victor Von Doom was actually a hero and helped deliver the child and named her Valeria. That's kind of, and genealogically speaking, she's still Reed's daughter, not Victor's daughter. But that is kind of like where I think this scoop could be coming from.
Which I do like, and if there is merit to this, and I think it's mostly poop. But if there's some scoop to it, I like the idea that in his universe, Doom is a good guy.
Yes.
And he views himself not as somebody who wants to see it all burn, but as somebody who's doing the right thing, right? Yeah. I could buy that. And maybe if they are kind of transposing the comic book Valeria onto his world's Franklin, Marvel's done that many a times, kind of taking a comic book arc and kind of swapping out the characters in it or something like that. That would kind of make sense. But I have a giant reason I think this is poop.
Go for it.
They're not going to run the Multiverse of Madness storyline back for Doctor Doom. Isn't that basically Wanda's arc across Multiverse of Madness and WandaVision, right? I lost my son, or I lost a child or children in one place, and now I'm going to cross the multiverse to find a kid replacement.
Whereas Wanda said, I'm not a monster, I'm a mother. Now he says, I'm not a Doomsday, I'm a daddy.
I'm a Dr. Doom daddy. Yeah.
I hear exactly what you're saying. That's why I'm kind of doubting this as well, because it's very complicated. And to say that, I don't know exactly what this Disney marketing manager from Toronto is claiming here, but doesn't it kind of sound like they're saying that like the child we knew as Franklin in First Steps is actually somehow cosmically the genealogical son of some Doctor Doom? And I don't think Sue would have cheated on Reed in that reality. I don't think that's what they're saying. I think that there's some other kind of origin that this baby is kind of a multiversal Moses that was carried through the cosmos and delivered into her womb. And that's why he has the power cosmic that Galactus considered so necessary, that kid is anomalistic in some way. Everything that I'm saying right now sounds way too complicated for the audience that Marvel is making Doomsday for. Already the fact that Downey is coming back to play this character is going to be complicated enough for them to have to explain in the exposition of the movie before they would even get to this kind of crazy shit with Franklin being the child of someone from another universe. It's just very complicated. But I think what I do like about it is there was something weird about the way Franklin and Doom connected in that moment. They were, he was reaching up to touch his face, and they didn't.
He was not scared that this weird guy just showed up in his living room, right?
Yeah, that he sees some kind of connection in it. There's some kind of connection between those two people. I just don't know if it's like, you are the father, Doctor Doom connection.
Yeah, that feels a little much. Do you think the reason, I know we've talked about the Fantastic Four post-credit scene a million times by now, but like, do you think the reason Franklin was cool with him, did he just have like candy hanging out of his mouth? You know what I mean?
When you go up to kids and have candy hanging out of your mouth.
When there's a Mr. Goodbar just dangling and the kid's like, oh,
Or under that hood, he's got the face of, yuck. Goofy is under that mask, and the kid's
Gosh, Franklin?
There could be all kinds of reasons.
It is, I guess it's all good fun bits here, guys. There's some reason there, and I guess the most straightforward and obvious, if we were just taking the context we were given in Fantastic Four, as you already said, he's a super powerful character, Franklin is. Mm-hmm. Doom's just needs him as a weapon, as a tool to accomplish whatever goals he has, right? There doesn't need to be any other connection to the Richards or to Franklin or to anything like that, right? It can't just be, I'm going to take this kid because this kid can help me do the things I want to do.
Yeah.
Could it? I mean, that feels like the most straightforward answer.
That's
right?
what it feels like. It's gonna be something like that. He is looking for someone who is the successor to the power cosmic, and whatever made Franklin so anomalistic to Galactus is the same reason Doom is targeting him now. It doesn't mean that he's his father or that Franklin is his son. But hey, I don't mean to yuck a yum on every theory that comes through our gates here, because we've had even worse theories than that have come out of this stupid mouth that doesn't have Dr. Goodbar in it. So you can make of this theory what you will. Can we talk about the sourcing of this?
Yes.
Someone who would go on Reddit claiming to be a marketing manager at Disney Toronto. Let's first talk about that. Does Disney have a Toronto office?
According to your research.
No. Disney Animation has a Vancouver office. A lot of Disney production, a lot of studios have production offices and sound stages in Vancouver. That's where most of the production is done. Vancouver is kind of like LA's Hollywood a little bit. A lot of stuff is shot in Vancouver. And then the surrounding areas, well, I guess Calgary isn't that close to Vancouver, but they'll go shoot like a lot of outdoor stuff in the surrounding Whistler area. That's a big ski resort in the Vancouver area. And then in Calgary, that's over in Alberta. So a lot of The Last of Us, a lot of stuff is shot in Western Canada. However, Toronto is the closest thing in Canada that looks like New York. So sometimes they'll shoot stuff in Toronto, making it look like New York City.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about like Disney studio offices that would have access to any kind of footage or any kind of storyboard art or scripts, Toronto doesn't have anything like that. And Disney's marketing team, there could be someone who works remotely who lives in Toronto or something like that, but most of Disney marketing is run through Burbank, less than a half mile away from here. Oh, actually, we're here in Canada, by the way. It's all in LA. The marketing is in LA. Yes, there's some ABC marketing that's in New York, but it's in New York and LA.
Especially at the higher levels, the type of people that would be getting to see trailers for Doomsday at this point early in the process.
And we know that they're quoting someone who was on the Doomsday set. And that's fine. You could be working anywhere and have a friend who was working on the set in London. That's fine. They even clarified, though, in one of their comments on that Reddit post that they're like, well, that wasn't exactly what I am. I'm just saying this. But just like the Disney Toronto of it all, it just sounds like someone who is lying. Now, what could be the case is it could be someone who just works anywhere as a marketing manager. I just don't know why they put that in the headline.
It is strangely specific, isn't it? You could say, I work on the marketing for Disney. Well, why list the city? Don't you think like maybe one part of that is accurate? We were talking a little bit. There are also a lot of VFX companies, post-production companies in both Quebec and the Toronto area. You see when you get to the end of credits, there's frequently, thanks to the Quebec Film Board or whatever. And, probably some of that.
And so a lot of that's Montreal is in Quebec. And you have... but Toronto is a major city. A lot of marketing firms, a lot of VFX companies are headquartered out of Toronto. We're not discounting that. And we do think that maybe this person might be connected to someone who works for one of those firms that has partnered with Disney in the past. Yeah. And maybe it's just like Disney doesn't normally have full-time employees who are there unless they work from home.
Do you think secretly this guy works for Tim Hortons? Okay. And they're running, they have whatever the equivalent to a Happy Meal that Tim Hortons will be running in 2026. He saw a toy, or whatever. He's wild speculation. I'm trying to drop all of the Canadian references I can make safely.
What's weird is that this person's saying that I'm a Disney marketing exec in Toronto, but they're really the validity of their claim would be whether or not you buy that their friend was on the Doomsday set. Why does it matter what this person does or did?
That's right. You could work for Exxon and have a friend that was on the Doomsday set.
I work for Subway, and my friend in college was walking around in Pinewood Studios, wherever. Like all of it's just kind of like, stinky.
Yes.
Poop.
I guess like it is an interesting pitch only in that, like, as you've pointed out many times, we still don't know Doom's motivation.
Yeah.
This does answer that. Now, I guess we're going to talk more about this incoming teaser that we're going to see on Fire and Ash, right? Avatar 3. And like in the history of 1 year out early teasers, things that come to mind when I think about that stuff are like Christopher Nolan early teasers that are mostly vibes and almost no plot, right? In fact, almost universally zero plot, right? Like maybe you get a look at a character and like you hear some random dialogue. Do you think that's what this is going to be? Do you think it's just going to be like, 60 seconds, 40 of which are like cool looks at Doom and RDJ or something like that? Or do you think this might hint at some major character motivations and some of the actual plot of the film?
I think maybe some of the major character motivations, but it'll be very cryptic. I don't think we're going to get into the plot structure of the film at all. I would imagine Robert Downey Jr. in costume in whatever form Dr. Doom will take for most of the movie. It could even just be like, a minute, 60 seconds of just him monologuing or just with voiceover. Imagine like the montage of Tony Stark in the cave with a box of scraps hammering stuff together, but instead the hammering is Dr. Doom building his armor.
You hear a voice. Yeah. Maybe there's an affect to his voice. You think RDJ could sound differently than he did as Tony Stark?
Does he do a Latvian accent?
Ooh. Is there, we're going to get into some other rumors around this, like if he is like this scarred, disfigured version of Doom, could that be impacting his communication as well, right? Does he have kind of some garbled speech or like, a little bit of sandpaper?
Busted lip or something, some teeth missing, and then he whistles on certain words.
I think
the multiverse is imploding.
Is it Gary Oldman in Hannibal that is the guy that had his face eaten by pigs or whatever? Yeah. Talks real strange. Yeah.
Let's go to our second rumor. We talked about this on the New Rockstars channel last week, but rumor 2 is, let's see, Dr. Doom looks like the Phantom of the Opera, kind of monstrous horror movie monster who needs a suit to survive. This was from Chris Gore, quoting his source. I think a description of Tony Stark looking monstrous or hideous. I mean, one man's Phantom of the Opera is another man's Jonathan Bailey's Sexiest Man Alive.
Hey.
If you want to describe someone as that hideous, I'm not going to fault you for that. Hey, maybe that is just how he looks. He's kind of freaky looking.
Yeah, so, I mean, for this to be communicated, especially in the trailer or the teaser, whatever we're calling it, we would need to see him mask off.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that could happen, like, do you think there's a chance the trailer is literally the other angle of him talking to Franklin or something like that? Like literally continuing from the
everything
post-credit
he
scene.
says, it ends with like just the reverse shot. The camera continues and pans around and you see his face under the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that idea.
And like this also, classic Universal movie monster, that has a specific connotation, right? That's Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, things like that. There was also like needs the suit to survive immediately makes me think of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Right? Do we hear like
a breathing?
Yeah, pumps and air and whatever, right?
I think to convey that you need the suit to survive, you have to have some strained wheezing in order to do that. Other than him saying, I need the suit to survive. Yeah. He's not going to say that in the trailer, but what he might do is go and then plug into the suit and goes
yeah.
Multiverse. I don't know. I'm not a Doomsday. I'm a daddy. And then, hey, Chris Gore, he is the one who knew that March 26th there'd be something happening. So he did.
He called the Avengers.
Yeah, he called the Avengers. Now, Asad Ayaz the day before also was like, buckle up. He's the Marvel. Hey, maybe he's the guy. He's a Disney marketing guy who I now follow on Twitter because he'll always be like, something's happening. So he'll always, if he tweets something, something's coming. Let's see. Our next rumor. We also talked about this. Steve and Peggy will appear in the trailer. They're not in costume, and we're going to see 3 planets colliding. This comes from Christian Harloff, quoting his source that he read off of his phone.
And can we clarify? Obviously, they're wearing costumes. Every actor appearing in a film is in a costume. Or you're saying they're butt-ass naked.
Butt-ass naked.
Now, I'd buy my tickets right now, okay? Those are 2 pretty people. I would love to see that. Full frontal. First, Marvel full frontal?
Whoa. I was just thinking butt.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it's a rear shot. It's Kevin Bacon coming out of the shower. Okay. I'm also seated and ready. But that not in costume means not in Captain America regalia.
That's what they're saying.
They're wearing civilian clothes.
Yeah. You wouldn't see him in any kind of new Captain America suit or a shield or anything like that.
Yeah.
Christian said some other things. You can go look at our video that we released on Thursday that I kind of covered a lot of what he said and how much of this could be sourced just by a contact who knows other things about the movie and it also wants to share it in that same DM or whatever it is. I think it's also possible that, the trailer does have Steve and Peggy in it. And I think like a lot of these guys, these entertainment reporters, these guys who all used to work at the Schmodown or whatever, probably have some friends who work at Marvel Studios that or are in high enough places that can confirm or deny things for them.
And this is certainly something that you could know without having ever seen the footage. Somebody could just verbally relay this to you and you get the complete information. Now, do you think it's a badly held secret, but it has not been officially announced that Chris Evans is in the film, right? Do you think they give it away? The first official recognition of him being in Doomsday is in this December teaser.
I think so. I think like he was in the he was a big part of the Avengers Endgame teaser that came out in December of 2018.
if part of the marketing of this film is like, hey, the good times are back, the gang's all back, right? Like we see Tony Stark in a new mask, same task or whatever, and we'll see Hemsworth as Thor, we'll see Ruffalo as Hulk, and we'll see Evans as Cap.
I don't know if we'll see like Ruffalo in it, just because like Ruffalo's going to be featured in Brand New Day, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and they may want to like leave him out of the. He might not even be in Avengers Doomsday. Yeah. He hasn't been confirmed, but Hemsworth maybe.
They'll show us some heavy hitters from previous phases of Marvel. Yeah,
I think so. And I do think the Fantastic Four will show up in it. I think you're going to see Pascal and Vanessa in it. All right, let's go to our fourth rumor of another person who claims to have seen the trailer. This person says that in this trailer, we see Steve wielding Mjolnir, but not wearing the white Endgame suit. So remember he went back in time with the 6 stones in the suitcase, and then he had Mjolnir with him too, wearing that white suit at the end of Endgame. And then the next time we see him, he's like 116 years old or whatever. This comes from someone who says that their name is Variable Lace on X. And then that tweet was deleted. Must be true. Yeah, Steve wielding Mjolnir isn't like the needle drop that it would be for Doomsday if we just, if that was the most memorable thing from Endgame.
Do you think they could be confused and like in his retirement, he's just doing carpenter work and he just has a hammer hanging from a tool belt?
Sure. Yeah. Maybe it's like a couple different characters. You see Steve in retirement in the alternate timeline hammering something. Then you see Victor hammering something as he's building his armor, and he's saying like, "No mask, same task." I was kind of starting to do a Russian accent, but I'm like, Latvian isn't Russian.
Yeah.
Also, Latvia is a made-up country. What you're saying, all of you who says that to be a proper Victor Von Doom, they have to do a Latvian accent.
What is that?
What is that?
Yeah.
And what you're saying is like, well, it needs to be vaguely Eastern European and Slavic and Russian. I'm like, okay, well, what you're saying is an appropriation of those cultures needs to be what it is. Also, Latveria could be like...
Also, and I'm basing this purely on like various professional athletes from these countries and like hearing them speak in interviews and stuff like that. But like a Lithuanian accent is very different from a Russian accent, from a Serbian accent, from a Turkish accent, right? It's a giant swath with a wide variety of cultures, and though like they have a general similarity to a Yakov Smirnoff, classic stereotypical Russian accent. Like there's a lot of variety there, and he could be plucking like once Marvel has decided where actual Latveria is located in whatever universe it exists, right? Like they could, pick from those cultures as well.
Yeah, and to people from that part of the world, the diversity among their different dialects and languages is as diverse as like in America, the understanding we have as a difference from people from Texas and people from Baltimore. It's there's so much rich diversity there. So the way we look at it as, well, Latveria needs to kind of sound like this. It's like, no, it can sound like anything. Anything.
One weird tiny island, Britannia, has 100,000 different accents depending on what neighborhood in London you grew up, right?
That's right. So yeah, I don't know who this person is, but I do think this is a kind of scoop about what you might have seen in a trailer that feels valid. You could see what Steve is and is not wearing and whether or not he has Mjolnir with him. But I don't see them putting that in the trailer.
Maybe, is there even a chance if again, the thrust of this trailer is like, hey, people that might have checked out for a lot of the recent Marvel movies, come back, good times are back. What if we even see a montage of previous things not in Doomsday, but like, do we see Steve in Endgame grab Mjolnir, Avengers Assemble? Because in that moment, he's not wearing the white suit.
Yeah.
He is wielding Mjolnir, right? Like, taken out of context, if you just heard like the audio description of the trailer, you would see like Steve holds Mjolnir or whatever,
it's like
right?
We see that moment is what they're talking about. Yeah. Very possible. It's kind of a highlight reel reminding us of that. But I do think what a lot of people are thinking about with Avengers Doomsday, the fact that it's like the Russos coming back and McFeely coming back, is they're going to deal with that question of like, where did Steve go? And so that's why they're thinking Steve and Peggy. And there's been a lot of rumors out there that like Steve doing what he did to stay in that alternate universe at the end of Endgame is what pissed off Doctor Doom so much. So I think a lot of the rumors and leaks you're hearing about it are all centered around Steve for that reason.
Yeah.
Can we talk about, like, how are people even seeing this trailer? Like, people who are claiming, is it even possible that, like, this might be displayed anywhere? The way it would be getting out there is there are trailer editing companies. Yeah. There are, people who have this in their offices outside of the Disney vault, who are working on it. People who work in those production offices who might have said, hey, come take a look at this. And then word gets out that way. How many people in the world might have seen this? Upwards of maybe 100 people?
Especially considering if indeed it's going to be on Avatar Fire and Ash, which is not coming out till December 19th.
Yeah.
Kind of late December. So we're 6 weeks away.
It wouldn't be someone at any of the cinemas. They don't have the files.
They're not going to get it. And like, this trailer could get cut on December 11th.
Yeah.
And still get out. You know what I mean? Like, they could be waiting very late. And as you pointed out in your recent New Rockstars video, like, 12 months out from 13 months out from the release of the film, almost 14 months, like the VFX are in no state close to, even the footage, like the shooting, right? Like there's still pickups, all kinds of stuff being done. So it's like, that's why I wonder if it's like, could this be a beefed up Marvel fanfare almost, right? Cool shots of heroes that could be taken from previous films, right? With like, I love your idea of like, a voiceover from Doom that we don't realize till the end, till it kind of comes to him with the mask or without the mask, that it was him speaking the whole time, right? Like, I do wonder how much we're even going to see in this trailer. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great no matter what. But I also agree, because the other thing we know about this production, the Russos, bless their hearts, they're experiencing this, and we've even complained about this. Things are tight-lipped.
Yeah.
They have done a great job. Think about how much more we've gotten about Brand New Day than we have Doomsday.
Yeah.
Mountains and mountains more. Photos, videos, interviews, leaks, right?
But I also think, as a result, Brand New Day is going to look a lot better on film than Doomsday will. Doomsday's going to look like everything was shot under that stupid canopy with no shadows, and everything's an overcast sky or on a soundstage, or people are in scenes with each other and they don't realize who they're acting across from. That is how the Russos shoot their movies.
That's fair. But that was also the last hour of Endgame, and,
at least they were in the same space together. Yeah. But I would say the final battle, as much as I enjoyed it because everyone was there together, it looked like shit. It looked really bad.
It's a little goopy, but we were too busy clapping our asses off.
And maybe
cheering.
that's what they're counting on this time, and I should let go of that. But I do think that when it comes to this, it's very possible that like there are several different versions of the Doomsday trailer that are out there. Like, I think it only makes sense that the Russos would do that. You would have kind of a ball and shell game a little bit and have 3 or 4 different ones.
And maybe they're even doing it purposely, like the classic move of like sending out fake scripts just to throw scoopers off.
With placeholder assets.
Yes.
So famously, the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer did leak. We saw the leak. The leak was sent to us at New Rockstars before it came out publicly on YouTube. We've talked about that. That's not a bombshell. So we kind of know what the process is. It was... Someone had their camera, their phone out in front of an editing bay monitor and recorded it on their phone.
Even the one we saw, wasn't it even like watermarked?
It was watermarked. Yes. So we're not going to say the source of it, who the person's name was. I believe they got in a lot of trouble though. And we didn't admit this for a long time because we didn't want to get anyone in any trouble, especially as we were waiting for Spider-Man No Way Home to come out. But one thing that was in that trailer, in that like edited, still in progress trailer, was when Peter was swinging through Times Square with MJ, away from the scene where everyone's like, oh my God, you're the guy. He passes by a billboard that has the logo for the Fox X-Men movie. So when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, when this comes out tomorrow, are we going to like get X-Men now in the MCU? What? And then when it came out, that billboard had been swapped out for like a FedEx billboard or something like that. So like, I think that when they're editing these things, they do put in like big bombshell fake bullshit in it. Maybe as a way to do what like Tyrion Lannister did in Clash of the Kings, to kind of put out some fake bullshit and see what gets out there so he knows who's disloyal. that could be part of the process here.
yeah.
So people who are claiming to have seen cuts of things, I think we even have to be careful. We have to manage our expectations because what they're seeing might not even be the final thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they could fully believe that it's real,
Yeah.
but they don't know that it's not real.
Yeah. And if, while the Russo brothers, mise en scène is not always great, their ability to keep secrets is.
Yeah. And they've gone above and beyond for this film, right? And even that, a lot of this is because the MCU and these patterns have been well established at this point, but like the actors keeping pretty tight-lipped are pretty good. We might talk about that a little bit more. And I know you've made your current video that's up on the channel now mentions Brie Larson, and like everybody is really good at giving these interviews now and not saying the things they're not supposed to say, right?
Yep. So overall, I think we could give like a general scoop to the people who are claiming to see things in the trailer, those last 3 that we did, just because like if maybe 100 people are working on different cuts of this trailer across Marvel or other marketing or trailer editing houses, there's a very strong likelihood that some post-production PA or some friend who saw a cut of something reached out to someone else who reached out to someone else who reached out to someone else who reached out to these guys from the entertainment news podcast world that we're talking about here. So I think it's very possible that someone did see a trailer and that some of what we described on this episode is accurate.
Yeah.
What I call poop on is this person who claims to be a Disney marketing manager in Toronto. I just think there's a lot of weird stuff about that. And while I think it's a fun theory, there's just a lot of there's a lot that stinks about it.
Yes. Yeah.
We'll leave it there for this episode of the Rumor Rundown. Thank you so much, Zach, for joining.
Thrilled to be here.
It was excellent chatting with you, and big thanks to Brian Kim for producing and editing this episode. If you listen to this and think, I have some insider information I'd like them to talk about, feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah.
What's a good way for them to reach out?
You know what? There's a lot of ways. There's an email address on the new Rockstars YouTube channel. If you just click like business contact, you can do that. You can DM us on Instagram. We might miss that. We get a lot of junky DMs there, but like
I check all my DMs.
Oh, don't say that.
All of them.
Don't say
Every
that,
single
Erik.
one of them. I
Don't say
read
that.
all of them. I internalize them. I see all of it.
We should set up a Telegram or some kind of like two-way encrypted thing. That's what like the big like Washington reporters and stuff do.
Oh, they do. Yeah, because that's how that big what's it called? That big leak that happened where they knew that the missiles were going to be deployed.
Yes. Yeah. Or you could just get on a Pete Hegseth's WhatsApp,
Yeah.
Just actually, if you have a Doomsday leak, reach out to Pete Hegseth. We're all on that WhatsApp.
We're all on that one. All right. Thanks for watching or listening, and subscribe to all the channels in the New Rockstars Network. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.